Hello everybody. So as time goes on, I feel like I'm getting able to really, the things I've been going through, the things I've been talking about in my prior videos, I've been able to really cast that aside and look at it objectively. Again, detachment from emotions. Now I know we all we all get up in our emotions sometimes, and people make us mad or people get us frustrated. But we need to develop a skill. We need to develop the tools or whatever we need to be able to detach and be objective about what's going on when it comes to any kind of forms of harassment and bullying, any kind of manipulation, miscommunication, deliberate manipulative communication, whatever that is. We need to get past that somehow. We need to bypass our emotions. Not to say we can't be angry about it in some ways, preferably not in the moment that it's going on, because what's happening is most of us going through whatever harassment we're going through, a lot of the intended outcome is to make you upset, to make you mad, or to get you in a depressed state. So these all involve emotions which you need to detach from. Again, not saying to totally detach from your emotions, but it is a big deal when it comes to being in the moment. Now, why I'm saying this is because, okay, so in my area, we've now just hit, I work in a grocery store, like I said, we now just hit the panic mode of coronavirus. And so people are buying more things. It came from one day buying a few canned items, well, not a few canned items, having a few big orders of canned items, to having the canned beans wiped out, to having the rice wiped out. It went from having a lot of canned beans wiped out and a lot of rice and a lot of water wiped out, to the next time I worked, which was like 2 days later. I mean, a lot of the waters were wiped out, rice was gone, beans were gone, most of the beans. We had like more pricier beans, it was still there, but still a lot of it was gone, the more cheap beans. Pastas being wiped out, and, toiletries being wiped out, sanitation stuff being wiped out, so things like that. So there is a panic mode going on, and when it comes to this situation, the panic feeds more panic. Now, it's always good to be prepared, but to panic is another thing entirely. And so there's already this panic in the air, and there's already this frustration, and some people don't even know what's going on. You have to explain to them what's going on. So that's also very interesting. But people get mad, especially in a high-end supermarket like ours, supposedly. People want their stuff, and they get upset when they don't get it. So, then you have to deal with that. We also have an interesting, like, odd crime element in the area, and so we have to put up with that. So there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of chaotic elements going on, a lot of feelings of frustration, panic, and whatnot. So when you have this, it's it's very important to be staying your peace, right? Like, it's interesting because I've gotten to this point where I'm more easily able to detach and look at it objectively, and then I see people trying to actively try to trigger me. The same people who are the harassers. And again, it's died down a bit, but there still are some who like to cling on to this thing because they like it. It's a fun game for them. And it's interesting because I'm going to do another video, but karma has hit hard again, and I'm going to tell you, and it has to do a lot with what's on. I'll do another video on that because it's going to be complicated. It's going to deserve its own video. But anyways, I would just like to say that in preface to that video, the manifestation, like I said in the other previous video, that manifestation is really coming really coming to fold. Like I notice like things that you think about, like things that you contemplate about, things that manifesting it very suddenly, in weird ways. And that's going to be the next video that I'm going to do. But this one is just like, really, people are still, if you're engaged in psychological warfare, trying to trigger people when there's chaos and panic going on, you are really just an agent of evil. Like, how can you, like, that is just so wrong. Like, I'm thinking, like these people, it's like, what is wrong with these people that are actively knowing engaging in this stuff while like serious stuff is going on? So there are people out there that look for these times of panic and upset and distress in society, and stress it even more by trying to actively go out and trigger people into doing things. I've seen this. Like, people are trying to do this, and trying to do it low key. It's really, and using their manipulation, brainwashing, manipulation, communication techniques. That is a thing. It does happen. People try to get into your head, to get you to like react in different ways. And I'm just like, people really. And so you guys, if you're going through this, if you work in a situation where you're exposed to this panic, and you have people who are actively trying to set you off, you need to be in your peace at this moment. You really have to find your peace and really get in control of those emotions. Really harness that. Like, you really got to be in control. You really got to detach. You really got to find a center of peace and like whatever. An element of don't care, an element of like peace, an element of detachment. There's a lot of things going on. And I'm going to also share methods and ways to do this that I've been doing, that you can do, and whatever. But anyways, I just want to say with this video, when like things like panic and, this sort of stuff goes on, and you have people going out there and actively engaging and trying to trigger people through psychological manipulation, yeah, that is so disgusting. So there are people out there. It's really just agents of evil. Like, how could you do that? Like, what do you think you're accomplishing? There are people out there, as we all know, in different levels of society, that want chaos, that want violence, that want disruption for whatever purpose or cause they're trying to. And it's not always, they might think they're doing good in some weird way, but that's not what's going on. So anyways, I just want to put this out there. Again, if you're dealing with this panic right now, if you're dealing with this threat or whatever, this I would call it, I guess, yeah, panic and disruption, yeah, and you're going through any kind of harassment, bullying, manipulation, that sort of thing, in order to trigger you, you got to be even more mindful. Be more mindful that you catch yourself and you catch your emotions and you're able to detach and get yourself out of the situation, or figure out a way to. It's so freeing to be able to look at something that used to get you emotionally charged and look at it from like a different view, just like unemotionally, just look at it and be like, okay, alright, this is what's going on right now, this might be their intention. Wow, that's really bad. That's really disgusting. But again, these people have it coming around to them. Again, what you put out, you get back, and don't think it isn't going to come back and get you harder because of your intent and your methods. So anyways, just put that out there. Just really, at this time, walk in your peace, stay strong, be centered, be focused, and at this point, like, try to be detached in many ways, especially when it comes to emotional distraught. But anyways, until next time.